Ah, bollocks. So I've tried a few times. It kind of wanted to kick, so hopefully. It was booked in for its MOT, so I really had to get on it, but I thought riding it would probably solve the dropping down to 3, which to be fair it did. I didn't see the issue again on the road, and it revved cleanly, particularly once warmed up. So my mate popped down and we had a ride down. Never used this place for MOT before, it's only a couple of villages away, so it was quite handy to get to. Luckily it went through the MOT absolutely fine, apart from when the tester got the torch between the radiator and the headers. You noticed there was a plug that melted, which I'm going to go into in a little bit, but short version is I've noticed the temp sensor or temperature gauge hadn't moved at all despite being a little warm, and we thought it was that was the cause of it basically.
MOT?
Yes.
This one?
Yeah.
I'll get it over there.
Good. Actually, quite a friendly experience. Jack Motorcycles in Woburn Sands, I think it is. Very accommodating. You can book online actually, which is really easy. So it means you do pay at the same time, but obviously it means you have to carry on and do the test. But yeah, absolutely spot on. So then afterwards we nipped to the super sausages with the temperature sensor not working. I didn't want to risk going too far, not knowing how hot the bike was getting. But it, for saying it's got old tyres on it, it rode lovely. Obviously I didn't go mad, but just a couple of rolling shots. And then on to getting the plugs fixed. While I was at the MOT centre, the chap basically said he had a spare plug, so he gave me the spare plug and sent me off on my way to get it fitted. So I've just cut off the old one and then just repairing the wires. Yeah, it was a bit sticky with the tape that was on there. Just cleaning out with some IPA and then on with the new plug. Now, pretty straightforward. If you've ever done a connection, you can solder it, or do all sort of different light locks and stuff like that. But I use the one with the solder inside. Just a bit of heat. I couldn't be bothered to get the heat gun out, so just use a lighter to melt the solder and join the connection. It doesn't look the tidiest, but actually it does a really good job of connecting two wires together. Whip the second one. I did the second one the same way, and then folded it up with some loom tape rather than using the electrical plastic tape. I stuck the crimps on and to keep some tension on it, and then got the loom tape and went mad with it basically. I find it actually does quite a pleasant little job, and it looks a lot better than the the normal plastic electrical tape that you find is often used. So in there at the back of the fan was a little bracket. I can only assume that's where these these wires need to go. So I'll see if I can thread this one through. To be fair, this wasn't that tricky a job. It was just a case of feeding it through in the right place. A bit faffy more than anything else. But a couple of tries I got it through and poked out the other side. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, please subscribe, please like. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as it stands right now. Just over 500. Just kind of restarted the channel the last few weeks with an upload every couple of weeks. Same treatment on the plug the other side, and plugged it in. Happy days. I think a little cable tie just there might help secure that. So this is the wire that I've just repaired, and that goes to the thermostat housing. I'm presuming there's a temperature sensor in there, so that normally goes on there. Now, if I ground that using this, so I'll stick one end in there, then one end on there like that. I'll show you what happens. See the temperature gauge? So that's back on, that's off. Where's it gone? Is it back on? Likewise for the fan switch. The ground that works fine. So I think next up is getting a new thermostat sensor. Is it a temp sensor? Not really sure. I'm not quite sure how the logic works with the fan and when they come on. Whether it's actually linked to the temp sensor or not, or which one is the temp sensor. I just need to look on the parts list and find out what it is I need. Hopefully it won't be too expensive. Get them changed out and hopefully get it working. So I'm going to get this one changed. So before we take that sensor out, we'll drain all the coolant. Hopefully this is the drain plug. Nothing's coming out so far. It's probably best as I drop that. I'll pop that on there. So what I'm going to need is my little helper to come round and hold this jug. Now come around this way. Hold the jug there. Water might come out of there. Okay, so you need to hold it like that to start with. And I'll loosen the cover tap. Or cap rather than tap. To be fair, that looks as fresh as a daisy. That looks brand new. Well, no, I can hardly use the bike since it's not put in.
It looks like it's slowing and it's getting less. It's looking really good.
It's pretty fresh to me. Now once everything was drained down, it was just a case of unscrewing the temp sensor. I can't remember what it was, if I'm honest, what size spanner it was. Something like a 12. But it came undone quite nicely, and then the rest of it. And there is our grubby little friend. There's a comparison, old versus new. New on the top, sourced through eBay. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description below. But compared to OEM, quite cheap. Refitting, surprisingly, was just a reverse of removal. Get it in hand tight initially, and then a couple of turns on the spanner. It didn't really take much to get it tight. And given the clearances, the radiator was in the way to get any sort of correct torque value on it, so I just put it as tight as it was when it came out, to be fair. So I've put the drain bolt back in the other side, and when it was out, when I squeezed the bottom hose, some more did actually come out the drain plug. And I was going to take that hose off, but I thought what I'd actually do is I'd put the drain plug back in, I'll reuse the coolant that's here now, fill it up to the same levels, do the test, and then I'll get some more of the same coolant. So check my old invoices, and this is this coolant's Motul Organic, and the stuff that's come out is pretty clean anyway, so it won't harm it's going for a little while longer. But it's about 3.5 years old, so I'm not quite sure of the shelf life on this. I know normally you say a couple of years, although that's when the bike's used. It's done about 300 miles since that full service, when the valve clearances and everything were done by Brian back then. So I'm not going to worry about putting the old stuff back in, just to do this test to make sure it works, but I will get some of the Motul in there completely. I should have really remembered to check whether when it was done last time, so I can get the same stuff and avoid that little bit of mixing that you're going to get anyway if you do change brands. But what I'll do is I'll fill up the expansion tank first to the level it was at before, and then put the rest in the radiator, which I've got ready to go. So I'll just pop that in there first. About the same, and barring a few spillages, there's very few spillages. If we get the rest in here, and I know it'll be at the same level. Okay, so that's pretty much topped off. So the seriously starts. I've already turned the fuel on. Just to show that it is reading something. That's the ignition off, ignition on, and it moves. Success.